The best thing I could have ever done for myself was study abroad in South Korea. When you're studying abroad anywhere in the world, you are changing your environment, broadening your perspective, and most importantly, finding your identity. What's up guys, I'm Zach, and I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in to the first video of my Study Abroad series where I take my perspective as an Asian American born and raised in Southern California and give you my experience in South Korea. I want to thank ISA for everything that they did for us out there. In no way is this video sponsored or anything like that. I just really had a good time, and it's really due to their help in preparation of getting over there and looking out for us when we were completing our fall semester abroad. So now that's out of the way, let's get into the good stuff. At the time, I was between two programs: film school in Prague or South Korea. I was fresh off of an internship with UCLA. I had been making real progress with my filmmaking. I had been on numerous film sets, being a part of crew, helping out where I can, learning what I can. And I started to feel pretty comfortable on my own. And, I saw a future doing something the non-traditional route, not going to film school. With all the platforms emerging online, with online learning about filmmaking, about design, about all this, it really made me feel comfortable to, take this opportunity to do something I really wanted. I think that my growing interest with Korean fashion, Korean music, Korean food really just pushed me over the edge to just say, fuck it. Ultimately, it led me to do some soul searching, to really figure things out, what I wanted to do while I was there, really to get the most out of my experience. And envisioning myself in both programs, I just felt like overall I would gain more from going to South Korea because it was something that was motivated by myself for so long. And film school was, just a thing that I know would be practical, but in the long run, I know that I would always regret not going to South Korea. I landed in Korea on August 21st. As soon as I got out of the plane, I felt overwhelmed. Like everybody looks different. It's a new airport, new environment. I'm just thrown into the pit of it. I don't know any Korean, don't know how to read any of it, don't know how to write any of it, speak any of it besides like 안녕하세요 or 감사합니다. So I was really scared. I felt really uneasy to go around and kind of explore. But for some reason, I just felt so excited to be there. It was like my first really big trip away without my parents, without any friends. And so, it really made me feel alive. But anyways, I went to go grab my luggage from the baggage claim. And then, I proceed to go grab a taxi. I go up, and this is like my first foreigner experience. I asked some workers around with Google Translate out, trying to understand how to call a taxi, because honestly, living out in Southern California, we don't really use many taxis. A taxi driver thankfully calls me over, gets my attention, and I feel so relieved to just unload all my stuff, head over to the hotel. I check in, I lay down, finally get to unwind, before I have to head out the next day to meet up with my program, ISA. And then I do a little bit of research to, figure out how much I actually really paid. And it ends up I paid $40 to just go like 1 or 2 miles. And I was like, coming back from that now, it was a black taxi, and those are the premium ones that always target foreigners because they don't really know. They don't really have a meter going sometimes, so you just really have to be careful sometimes. So I stay the night. I wake up in the morning, get a little breakfast, do a little morning workout, And around this time, I would usually, make a round and do some B-roll or something like that, take some pictures. But honestly, I was way too freaking scared still. So I was pretty excited and looking forward to meet up with my group. They're waiting at the airport, and then we're all gonna go shuttle to the dorms after. Yeah, that ended up happening, and I, ran into some of the students, and it was honestly really, really cool. We had people from all over the United States. Some, only like maybe 4 of us from California. A couple people from Texas. My roommate was from New York. After meeting up with everybody and kind of like mingling around, getting to know some of the people in the program, it was just so clear to me how unprepared I was. A lot of the kids that I had talked to, really had already taken a Korean course or knew how to read Hangul. It was just like, it just felt like, really made me feel that much more unprepared. But looking back now, it was actually a really good experience for me because, I was able to learn Korean as I was going, and, therefore at the end of my experience, I was able to, read and write, talk a little bit, order some food, and all that stuff. Another thing they taught us early on was how to take the subway. In Korea, it's so accessible around Seoul to really get anywhere you want. It's about $1 roughly, going one way, depending how far, but it really depends, how frequently you're hopping on and off. But essentially you go to any convenience store, you pick up a card called the T-Money card, and you can recharge it there and then, use it to tap in. It's pretty simple actually, but it's just an experience that we don't really know out here in the United States, driving around all the time. But it just felt so freeing to, be walking around and having the freedom to do something spontaneous with everybody and not have to worry about parking or having everybody fit in one car. It was honestly, I really miss it. And I wish that US had a rail system similar to it. So anyways, after a week of some fun, going around Korea, getting some good food, learning how to ride the subway, it was finally time to start orientation and registration. Orientation was great. Korea University has a program called KUBA where they set you up with a buddy. Essentially, they're a native Korean student who acts as a resource for you when you're getting adapted out there. Shout out June. But I asked June a lot of questions, where the good spots for food are, where to get a good clean cut. But each week they kind of organize an outing for everybody to go to so you can mingle with Korean students and foreign exchange students, so they make it really easy for you to mingle and get comfortable with, some of your peers that you're going to school with. Definitely had a lot of fun nights. But, my mom's probably watching. So last but not least, registering for classes. I made it my priority to take a Korean class because of how overwhelmed I was. I figured if the more I'm comfortable with Korean, the more I'm hearing it, the more I'm speaking it, I'll be able to go out and shoot more photos, more videos, potentially even, maybe landing a job or whatever, which I did. But yeah, I took a Korean course, I took consumer behavior, I took social networking and competitive advantage, and marketing principles. All 3 classes that I needed to fulfill at my home university. And that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for tuning into my first video of this Study Abroad series. Like and subscribe if you really liked it. And tune in for the next one where I meet my Korean cousin.